welcome to the stream. We are live. The dice is cast. So we have a nice schedule for you tonight to talk about Rubicon, our upcoming winter expansion. And we're going to hear from CCP Seagull, who is with us here. And then we have coming on later to talk about features in detail. We have CCP Rise, CCP Fossey, CCP Karkur, CCP Sonic Clover, CCP Paradox. And we're going to have some videos as well. We're going to show you what's been happening at CCP around the world at different gatherings. And we're going to see video interviews with some devs who couldn't be with us here tonight because they are upstairs hammering out things for the winter expansion. So, CCP Seagull, welcome. And what's been going on? You've been busy preparing for Rubicon.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic around the office lately, right?
Yeah, the whole building is finishing up the last, little bit of polish to get this thing out to you next week.
Yeah, it's only like on Tuesday.
Yep.
November 19th. So only a few days away. People have turned in everything. They're just polishing now and getting things in shape for the launch day.
Yeah, it's ready to go out.
Yeah, it's ready to go. So no surprises there. So Rubicon. What is Rubicon and what led us to that theme?
Also, it really starts with the vision that we presented at FanFest, which really paints a future for EVE where the Capsuleers take more and more control over the known universe, and eventually even to the point where they could master space technology and break out of the known universe. And after delivering Odyssey, we started really working on what does that mean? Like what does it mean we want to change in the game and how are we moving forward? And Rubicon is the first result of that. And it represents this starting point, this point of no return, where we're really starting to work with New Eden as a universe that's going somewhere. And we want to talk a bit now about some of the features in Rubicon and how they kind of relate to this vision and how we're working with the game. Yeah,
there's a ton of really interesting features in this expansion. Features that are gonna force people to rethink how they do things and how they approach the EVE universe. And if anyone can do it, it's you guys. I know that. So these features, like we have ghost sites, deployables, new ships, lots of balancing and UI changes, the ISIS ship tree and all that stuff. So how does this all tie into the whole theme?
So the overall theme is really about the Capsuleers gaining more control, and we're doing that in a number of different ways, but we're also working with the game in a number of ways that I want to explain a little bit. So if we take the ghost sites, for example, which is a new type of site that you can encounter that introduces some new, like fast-paced gameplay. In Rubicon, these sites, they represent really two things. One is us starting to work with the types of things you can encounter out there in the universe and starting to do like new things there, which is something we haven't necessarily done in a while, really starting to experiment and also fix the tools behind the scenes for what we can do with this. But it also represents working with the storyline of the EVE universe. So the events, the things happening in these sites are really a part of building up this long-term story of what's happening in New Eden, what's happening with the relationships between the Capsuleers and the Empires. What's going on? Are the Capsuleers getting their hands on some technology they're not supposed to have their hands on, and so on? And this is really how we see the vision going forward, is to work more and more like this, where features are connected to a broader story like that.
That is pretty exciting, and there's a great theme in this expansion. You can we're going to really see it when we go into the details later with the developers. How the theme is emerging, and it's really cool. So this is a multi-year plan that we are looking at.
Yep.
At implementing that, we're making like a 3-5 year roadmap to look at how this is gonna all pan out.
Yeah. So for example, the mobile structures that we're shipping in Rubicon, they are just the first step on many more things like this we want to do, and we already have more deployables like that planned for the point release. and structures that you can place and that will affect space, that will affect other people. And you can just expect more and more of this as we take Capsuleers on this journey to control more of the universe. And so that vision is really going to continue, and you can expect more and more of it. But however much like shiny new stuff we're working on, we're always making sure that as part of every expansion we have room in our plans to really develop and care for the core game, for the existing stuff, which means that we always make plans for improving things that our players are asking for, balancing the ship types, the core game, looking at, you know, PvP and so on. What's happening there with the health of the game that we already have, and what does our community want us to do? And it means in certain ways that the really big, like, shiny features, they take us like multiple expansions to build up, but we believe that's the right approach because we have to care for the game that's out there as well while we're building the future, and that's really what this vision is meant to let us do as well.
Exactly. I think that's really good. And looking at these plans, I've been really like in agreement with what I see, like with how we're segmenting up and doing something for like the people who want to play with the things we already have, and then the people who want the new things, and segmenting this all up really well.
Yeah, and the way we're working with it now is that I don't really see this big clash between like new players and old players that you would do something only for one group or the other. I think we have found some good ways to make the whole game exciting without trying to, you know, dumb things down or only do things for veterans, but find like a thematic approach that lets us do things for more than one group of players in the game at the same time.
And yeah, we're seeing a steady, nice progression of quality stuff coming out at the right time in over a period, like, you know, pieces of the puzzle coming together, and it's pretty good stuff.
We're trying.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I look forward to going into the details with the developers and all these things. So there's been a lot of things happening lately. We've deployed the collector's edition, and they are still on sale for those who are interested. Got the Rifter here and the Danger Game, all kinds of cool stuff. And we even had a launch party here in Reykjavik. We wanted to have a launch party close to home, and we're going to show you a video that takes you there behind the scenes. Then we went to Vegas. That was pretty great. First time we put full support behind like a player-run gathering like that, and it was pretty great. And we're going to show you a video from that as well. Upcoming is Eve Down Under, another great player-run gathering taking place in Sydney, Australia. And yes, you should go there if you can go there, or if you live in Australia, you should definitely go there. So we're going to show you now a video that we made here in the office recently with the Rifter from the Collector's Edition, which was inspired by a player video of a guy flying his Rifter through his house. And this is a Rifter flying through the CCP office. If you haven't seen it, enjoy. If you have seen it, enjoy it again.
Whew, pretty nebula. Oh no, I'm bubbled! Ah, I can't warp at all! Whoa! Whoa, that was close. Whoa!
And to your right.
Red Leader, what's your status?
Everything's green. Wait.
Me too.
Actually got a meeting.
Oh. Enemy detected. Engaging. Ready for warp. Oops. Gate camp, warp!
Oh, hey. Hey, we're back. That was a pretty good video, right? So, CCP Seagull, where do people go to find out more about the upcoming expansion if they want to go and dig into the details themselves?
So you should really go to the feature site to read all about it, and there's also an update from me about the vision stuff that I'm talking about, where you can hopefully see how some of the stuff we're doing in Rubicon connects to it. And we've also made a chronicle for this expansion that really frames how this makes sense in the universe, and it hints at some of the future stuff. So I encourage you to go and read that stuff if you want to understand more of what we've been talking about here.
Brilliant, brilliant. So exciting times ahead. You have another deployment coming up, right?
I do. I'm going to go on leave for a while. I'll be back in April, but Eve is in really good hands while I'm gone. We have some great internal people filling in for me, and a new lead game designer who really gets Eve. And yeah, I'll be back. And we have some really exciting plans brewing actually for the summer expansion already. So can't wait to see how those look when I come back.
Really great, really great. So good luck with that, and we'll see you around. So I was talking about player gatherings earlier, eVegas, Eve Down Under coming up, one in Greece that happened and will hopefully happen again next year. Really looking forward to that. And we're seeing more and more player gatherings. Definitely go check them out or have one yourself. Also, FanFest will be held again as every year next spring. And tickets go on sale 25th of November. Last year we sold out, so be sure to refresh that website on 25th of November and get your early bird special ticket. Yes, and then the collector's edition, we're going to be giving out a few collector's editions during the stream. So if you are on the chat during the stream, you have the chance of winning this great collector's edition, to add to the one you've already bought, of course. So player gatherings, we took video cameras with us to Vegas and to the collector's edition launch party here in Reykjavik, and we have some fun stuff that we're going to show you from there. So enjoy it. So we're live. Yeah!
You guys hear us all right?
Hey!
Welcome, everybody. Who's having a good time so far? Yeah!
I think that this is definitely the best one yet in terms of the location, and having CCP support eVegas I think has been very helpful.
Yeah.
Because I mean you can see back here the infrastructure that's been brought to bear.
Yeah.
Previously speaking, it was mostly just player presentations and a few CCP presentations, and this year CCP is really here.
It's been an absolute amazing weekend so far. I mean, the pub crawl to everything yesterday to the party at the top of the Rio last night, just a huge amount of fun, and I've been hearing nothing but praise from everyone.
It's been our best year. There's no question.
Yeah, but we
have something really important.
Yeah, we gotta go party. Yeah. So rooftop party, Voodoo Lounge nightclub.
Someone's gotta do
we're
it.
going. Yeah, someone's gotta do it, and you know,
let's get our chauffeurs.
Yeah, let's get our chauffeurs up here, and we're out. We have two special guests with us, CSB Rice, CSB Fossey. Welcome.
Hello, hello, guys.
Yeah. You were both at the party. We were showing a video
Yes.
from there in Reykjavik,
Yes,
and
it was
also
a really good time.
Vegas. Good times.
At all
Good
the
times.
parties, yep.
Yep. At Vegas,
So-
where they took all of our money.
Yeah. So luckily we don't have a lot of it. So you know.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
yeah, that party was pretty great, and we gave away a lot of collectors' things. We actually had it in the cantina here at the office, which is the first player gathering we've had in the office, and it was pretty good. The office is still here. And
There was one
pleasantly
guy that looked
surprised.
a lot like me.
Yeah, that's
Everyone
true.
kept thinking that he was
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Are any of
People,
the players still here?
Like they've been hiding
we
in the
haven't
building,
Yeah,
like
like
just
we
under
were
a
able to
cover.
get
we
them all
haven't
out?
really checked.
Okay.
There may be some players stuck in the storage room or something, but
Yeah,
you know,
that's fine.
we have more. We have more, so it's okay.
We have small caches of food left
Yeah,
around,
yeah,
and water,
exactly.
just for those circumstances.
Yeah. So you guys have been busy
Yes.
making Rubicon, and everything is ready. You've delivered all your stuff.
Yes, still got another deblog to finish, but because deblogging never ends at this point in the cycle.
What's this one about?
So my next one is going to be about ship balance,
Yeah.
which we're actually going to be
Yeah.
talking about right now. But yeah, I've already put out one yesterday and one today.
Yeah. I actually knew that. I was just asking for the people to tell me. So you guys have quite a few features coming up, and you're going to be actually joining us later on the show. We're going to talk about some of the features, then we're going to get some more guests, and then we're going to bring you back because you have so much stuff.
Yeah.
Rise is going to be here
I'm
pretty
here
much all the time.
whole time.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah.
But yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
tons of stuff for this expansion. It's pretty exciting.
So new ships. We're
New
making-
ships.
We're putting in new ships into the game.
Yeah.
Surprise, new ships.
Yay!
Fun.
Most of you
It's
know
always
about
fun.
I didn't put them on there, but that's fine. So yeah, we're putting in two new Sisters of Eve ships, a cruiser and a frigate. I imagine a lot of you have already looked at a lot of the details. My dev blog on it was a few days ago, and they've been on Singularity for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But they're going to be a lot of fun. They're exploration themed. They're like can fit covert cloaks, which is really exciting. It's
Yeah.
something that no Tech 1 ships can do right now. And these are pirate faction ships, so they take a little bit more training to get into than a normal Tech 1 ship, because they combine two races, Amar and Galente in this case.
Yeah, a mix of Amar and Galente. That's pretty cool.
One of the original goals, I mean, we want to fill the faction gaps, the pirate faction gaps that exist. That's kind of a standing goal, I feel like. And then those fit really well for this set of ships because we wanted them to be able to sustain a long time away from like refueling, basically. So that means weapon types that don't need a lot of ammo are really good. So drones from Galente and lasers from Amar. And it's funny, we actually started the development process thinking they'd be very laser focused, but then discovered we were making like 1200 DPS exploration ships, and so switched them to a little more defensive theme through the Amar resistance bonus, and then left the drones, and we're in pretty good shape now. I think they're going to be really fun.
And they have some hit point bonuses for drones.
Yeah, the Frigg has kind of a new bonus that I don't think is anywhere else, which is a pure hit point bonus for drones, which is nice because if you're running sites or just kind of being out in 0-0 for a long time, your drones can take a lot more damage before you lose them or have to go back and get new ones, which is cool. And then the cruiser has a more normal HP plus damage bonus.
Yeah. Fits into the lasting longer theme.
Yep.
Yeah. And the nice thing about that double HP bonus as well is that it works equally well with all types of drones. So if you want to put out a flight of attack drones, then it's going to do fine with that. ECM drones, logistics drones.
Yep.
We saw some people use it with logistics drones in the last SCL PvP tournament.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And of course, they look fantastic.
Yeah, they look fantastic. Like
I think we're going to be showing
and
off that
shiny.
a little bit later, right?
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. We have some footage even.
But they are absolutely gorgeous ships.
They're absolutely gorgeous, and it's always. I mean, we're all used to like the look of the ships from the different races, the pirate factions, and it's kind of refreshing to get like a new type of look that we can then work on expanding maybe in the future or
maybe sooner than you think.
Some hinting at something there. Huh? Well, that's good. So rebalancing. You guys are always balancing ships.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and
We're
you
actually
did
rebalancing
some
ships right now.
Yeah. Can we do a live rebalance right now? No, let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
So, what did you go into this time?
So, some of the bigger projects, for my team, I'll just do my team. So we did Marauders, electronic attack frigates, adding a new type of missile launcher, the rapid heavy launcher, and as a result tweaking rapid light launchers. And I think that's all the stuff from my team, and then you have a bunch more.
Yeah, we have the interceptors and interdictors, and then warp speed changes that we'll talk about a little bit later that kind of affect those classes especially very heavily, as well as some changes to the way command ships look.
Yeah. Some of these rebalancing, these rebalance changes are being covered in an interesting way in the upcoming part 2 video of the in development.
Yes.
Video about
flying
Rubicon,
some of those maybe.
So.
Yeah, they're big changes to a lot of them. I mean, the changes to Marauders especially are pretty large compared to a lot of the smaller class rebalances I guess we do. Like when we did battleships, there's big changes, but not complete rehashes of the role per se. And with Marauders, we're completely
exactly. It's a bold change.
Yeah,
it's a bold
is a good
change.
word. Yeah,
yes. And like we did have some forum chatter about that.
A little bit.
Yeah, and you guys have been taking in a ton of feedback since since we announced this, and on the forums both, and from the last the Rubicon introduction stream where we talked about some of these things for the first time.
Yep.
You
there's been. I mean, there's always a lot of feedback when we're making balance changes, which is great. And we've been, we like you. We're talking about player events. We got a ton of feedback while we were in Vegas talking to people. We're always getting tons from the forums, and we have been. We're always talking daily with the CSM as well. So yes, we've been processing quite a bit of feedback during this release.
Yeah. And like Marauders in particular are on version 8 now. I mean, there's been lots and lots of changes based on feedback, based on what we're seeing on Singularity when people testing it, and just based on kind of new research as we go along. And we're always going to be continually updating our designs.
Yeah, that's the way it
really
goes. Good. So we're going to do something on the computer.
What should we do on the computer?
Let's check out some new things.
All right. So, the new things I was hoping to check out on the computer are mostly this certificate in ISIS. I don't have any spaceships, so we can't look at the Marauders, so we could do that later. Yeah. But, all right, so my team,
Okay, go ahead.
Look at this crazy view we have. What would you like to say, CCP Guard?
No, I'm just excited. I can't contain myself, and we want to see this.
All right, so many people will be familiar with the certificate system we had before.
Yeah.
Familiar with it as something that wasn't really worth using, probably.
A lot of people stopped using it, I know that.
Yeah, we weren't really happy with it. A lot of players weren't happy with it, so we basically just yanked it all out. The old certificate system has been completely revamped, and we replaced it with a much better system. One of the most important things that's better about it is there's no longer certificates as part of certificates. So you just have categories with certificates in them. So under armor, you have this list: armor reinforcement, armor tanking, whatever. And then within each certificate, if you hit info on it, you get a description. And then each one is divided into levels. So you have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. And that's true for every certificate. Each level just contains skills. So in this case, for armor reinforcement, just mechanics and hull upgrades for level 1. And those just leveling up to level 5 till the end. And some of them will be more complicated. They'll have more skills involved. I don't know if these ones particularly will. Sure, but this one has 4. In there you can see which ones you have trained, which ones you don't. And those go into levels. And this is just nice and clean. And this is another area we've got a ton of feedback about what kind of certificates, basically what should be in these certificates, how they should be arranged. CCP has done a ton of work with the community to try to get this to the most broadly applicable place it can be, because obviously in EVE, not everyone's going to agree about everything in terms of skill training, but that's fine. This is going to be extraordinarily helpful for new people. And then the super exciting part about it is that let me see if I can do it through here. So in each of these certificates, you can see where the certificates are linked, like what ships they're linked to. And then on the ships, the certificate is associated with this new system called Mastery. Now what Mastery is you have for every ship a Mastery assigned to it that is a collection of certificates. And you have a set, so for a Raven you have battleship navigation, Caldari target management, core ship operation, large missile, scout drones, shield tanking, and tackling. Those are the certificates you need to master the Raven. And then each of those certificate levels contributes towards the mastery level. So when you have all the certificates for it to level 1, you have mastery level 1 in the Raven. When you have them all to 5, you have mastery level 5 in the Raven. And these are just the level 5 certificates for each of these. And
yeah, so this really helps you see where you stand skill-wise with your favorite ship.
Yes. And So this all contributes towards the coolest feature,
Yes.
which ties us all together, which is the new
This is amazing.
Interbus ship identification system, which is this sort of tech tree showing you all the ships in the game and showing you visually, rather than having to crawl through an interface that's sort of cumbersome like we like to have in EVE. You can look all at once at everything, see your mastery levels on all the ship types in the game, and get just a quick at-a-glance understanding of how good you are at something, as that relates to the certificates anyway, which is really fantastic. You actually did some user testing for us, and
Yes,
I think
I did.
it was a good example of the sort of experience people are going to have. They're going to have, obviously this is helpful for new players to help set a plan and try to understand where they want to go, and if they figure out where they want to go, how to get there. But it's also really powerful for old players who think, like in your case, I'm really great at this ship, but the tree says they're missing something, and then it causes you to go and investigate if there's a piece of the ship that you might not have had maxed out.
Exactly. I had one ship that I like to fly, and I've killed a lot of people with it, and I was like, I'm the best at flying the ship. And then I look at this, and I'm like, hey, there's a hole in my game, and I have something to work on now. That's cool.
It's really cool. And so just to show some of the functionality for it, I mean, obviously you can see all the ships are here arranged in a way that makes as much sense as possible. And then there's tons of information here as well. So you have, these are, first of all, we're adding a whole bunch of new icons to sort of help give high-level information about the game. There's a small icon here for rookie ship, but each group has its own icon that you can see that's attached to the list of ships that scales up as you get bigger. And that's kind of where we wanted to go in general for this feature, is just give easy at-a-glance high-level information. So on each of the groups, you can also look at these icons that say stuff like how big the ship is, and then describe some of the roles, or all of the roles, that are available within that group. And then that extends down to the type, where on each ship type, you get all the bonuses for the ship listed out in a way that's nice and easy to read. You also get icons that show you at a really high level what the ship is for, some of the primary attributes of the ship, whether it's what kind of tank it has, what kind of offense it has, what kind of EOR it has. And so that just makes kind of crawling through all the ships in the game much more easy. It lets you look at what you might want to head towards if you're attracted to a certain type of gameplay. The mastery icons are here under each type, so you can see how good you are at it now. You can see the skills associated with each group. They'll show you when they're not trained and when they are, and how many points you have. That's shown right here under the icon as well. Has tons of information, which is really much easier to get at than it usually is in EVE. And of course, you can crawl through all the races. So that Caldari tree I was just showing.
Yeah, you go up there to change which race you're looking at.
Yep, all the control for the race stuff is in the info panel up here. We also have the same kind of icons and at-a-glance descriptions for what each race does at a high level, kind of what the flavor for each race is. This, my Caldari tree, I maxed out here at the end for battleships for Raven and the Navy Raven. If I switch to the Galente tree, I don't have quite as much training, but it's more specialized. I can fly an Ishtar. I can see here it's only mastery level 3, but shows you what you've got unlocked in each tree. And this, of course, extends to the pirate trees as well. So I don't have any Blood Raider stuff, but if I go to Serpentis, I do have the Serpentis Frigg, the Daredevil, and I can click on the races attached to that to go over and have a look at how I'm doing in each of those races. So there's just tons of information here. It's all presented in a way that's visual and intuitive, and I think people are going to have a really good time exploring this, figuring out where they're at, and going back and picking up things they missed, as well as planning for the future. I
think it's absolutely fantastic, and in a game that revolves primarily around spaceships, it makes sense to have a good-looking, informative overview of ships in one place.
Yeah.
It's just really good, easy to navigate.
It's awesome, and something we're really excited about is how many directions this can go in the future. I mean, this is one of the most significant steps we've taken towards visualizing something like the item database in EVE, and that can be applied to modules, to industry, to all kinds of things. And there's a lot more we can do with the ship tree itself as well. We've talked about things ranging from putting stats on your actual individual performance with ships to new types of visual information about how the ships look or how they're made or whatever. I mean, there's just tons of directions we can take this, and the fact that we're getting to make EVE a little easier to get at is really exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, there are things, without dumbing anything down, just making things easier to find so you can be out in space shooting with people. So you don't have to memorize trivial things that don't really make you a better player. They just take your time. I mean, I often run into, there's some modules which are in categories that they don't seem to make sense in my brain, so I always have to look for them, in which category is it on the market and when I'm going to buy it. And it's good to get better overviews of things.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yep. Don't worry, our tracking formula will continue to not make sense. Eve will always be really difficult. But yeah, make it easier to just see what's there and figure out what you want to do with it. Is
So you have more time to master your spaceship skills out in space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's really good. That's
and
really
it'll
good.
be a lot easier to show your friend how the game works.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing. People talk about this being for new players, but the thing is, like, everybody wants to bring their friends into the game, and their friend is going to be a new player, and it's going to take a lot of time to explain things to him. And when you can do something like this, throw this up, and you can just leave him alone for an hour looking at ships.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people start in the game, not only do they not know kind of what ships are available, they have no idea how many ships are available too. So being able to see that there's this much variety is really great.
And quickly letting people discover the fact that, like, there's, you know, some serious stuff to aspire to in the game. You know, here's how far you have to go. That's actually really cool. That's fun to be able to get a sense for the scale early on.
I think it also just gives you that you know, sci-fi feeling to be able to just look at all this in one place. I love it.
Yeah, just like quick details too. You know, I think you guys will actually need very little help using this once you actually get your hands on it. But just some quick. I mean, you can get to it in the Neocom over here. There's an ISIS button that just brings it up and shuts it down. Navigating it through the info panel up here, race by race, and then you can actually any ship you have open in show info, you can also hit show in ISIS here, and it'll not only open the ISIS if it's closed, but it'll take you to the ship, show you which one you're looking at, and the mastery and certificates will all be in the show info for the ships. We're giving some icons sort of in the upper panel here to show you whether or not you have the skills for something and what your mastery is. It's just very complete and awesome system, and I think people are going to like it a lot.
I think people are going to be very happy when they get their hands on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the feedback actually has been extremely positive so far.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So we're gonna check out another video from Team Trilambda, and then we're gonna add CCP Karkur to the conversation. So
awesome.
Thank you for coming, Fozzie. Yeah. See you later.
I'll see you in just a little bit.
Yes.
I'm CCP Lion. I work in Trilambda. I'm responsible for the visual effects. And for the past release, we started to work on the jump gates, and we changed a bit how they looked. And now for Rubicon, we're actually have different effects for the jump out and jump in. So players will be able to actually identify just by looking at the gates if they're someone arriving into the system or departing. Regarding the warp disruption bubbles, they're a big part of EVE, and we know that players use them a lot. So we made some changes to the animation, and now, especially when you have a lot of them on screen, hopefully they will be more pleasant to the eye. We felt that the previous ones were very hectic and could become annoying. So now we also try to bring the overall look into to match up with the EVE graphics update, so they should be looking better and again less hectic as they were before. We also worked on general effects for this release, and some of them included working on the siphon units. They have some really cool looking effects, I hope. Also the new Sino inhibitor, it's extremely effects based. And of course the new death explosions for the new Sisters of Eve faction ships. I hope the players like it.
Hi, I am Luxus Luli, CCP Luxus Luli, and I'm a senior concept artist for CCP. I've been working for 8 years now, roughly, and I do everything from concepting to texture. With this release, as with any release, usually the workflow is we have an idea from maybe game design or some other team, and then me and the art director, Ásgeir, we maybe pitch up pitch some idea, throw something really rough on paper or in Photoshop. And then we do a 3D blockout. It's usually done by a 3D artist, but sometimes by a concept artist. And then the actual 3D model is done by a 3D artist, and the 2D and 3D artist work closely together, just throwing the piece back and forth. And we do a sort of a render pass on the high-poly model to get it more closely to the final product. And then, when that's done, I would get it back and do a really nice texture work on it. And that's roughly the whole process. And then I get a stamp. Nice work. Oh.
To the set. I'm here with CCP Rice. He's still here.
Hello.
I tried to make him leave, but he won't, so we're stuck with him.
I like it here.
Yeah. And CCP Karkur is here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. One of the more popular developers, if I can say so. Always making the nice changes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, making life in space less painful.
I try.
Yeah. So you're very active on Twitter as well. You, I see your Twitter follower number rising. It's very threatening.
Yes.
Not to my levels yet, but
I'm beating CCP Explorer.
Yeah, yeah. You're beating him. Yeah. That's good.
That's
good.
good.
He's very active too. So, how's it been going? Happy with everything for Rubicon?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Rubicon.
Yeah.
Shift 3, he was showing was like, I can't wait for it. It's so
super
awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Super nice.
Really good,
like it. You have some awesome changes as well. Some really popular ones.
Yeah.
People were cheering a lot, making this sign on the forums a lot when you post. So
on that block.
Yeah. It's pretty good. So you're gonna show us the character selection screen.
Yes. Do you want me to go into that now?
Yeah. Let's check it out. Because.
Yeah. Do you want to show as a login?
As I've told people before, our players really like to select characters. On average, they select a character every time they play.
Yeah.
So it's something that's important.
Many of them probably select a character more than once every time they play Eve.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
so
we totally redid the
Loki ult.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just totally redone. Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, we're bringing back the themed, kind of the theme for the expansion that we kind of lost it when we went to the launcher.
That's going to make a lot of people happy because when we removed that was one of the things like it made sense to change things, but this was a sad loss. So
yeah,
I mean,
it really was. So now we have like music. You can't hear it now, but
it's good. It's
we
really
have
good.
the nice.
You'll have to take our word for it.
Nice screen here, and yeah, we just totally redid the screen.
Can I bring up something?
Yes.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to. I know some people would love for it to be animated as well.
Yes.
What is the
for the background?
Yeah, for the background.
Because
before it was like kind of.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss that in a meeting tomorrow. I think,
right,
or
great.
Not tomorrow, but tomorrow.
We're gonna discuss it.
Yeah. So
I mean, obviously it's awesome.
It might come in a pointer release.
Cool.
Nothing is impossible. It's the perk of making things up.
But our primary goal for this was just to have it load fast, and just minimizing that risk to have it just background, which is really nice too. And everything loads up really fast now.
And did it's weird because I can't actually remember what information was in the character select before.
There was a whole lot of
but I feel
text.
I feel like now there's much more information here.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if that's all to presentation or if it's just.
It's the presentation. I think we just cut what we just stick to the basic things.
Yeah.
And the important and just present it better, so it's not as cluttered and you can actually just see the information better. And here up in the corner you have if you have second and third character in training, you have just telling you how much you have left on that. And also if you have a Plex account or or ETC, and you will going to see
So
that
you
here.
see how much is left of your subscription,
Yes.
which is something that a lot of people are happy about, because
Yes.
it's not fun when you're like trying to hurry into the game
No.
to find out that your subscription has lapsed.
Yeah, and if you have less than 5 days, it's going to be red, so it's going to
Okay.
try to.
How will you tell in this
Really
background that it's red? Just
There is
kidding.
like a small border here that's
Yeah.
black, so you can see it. We've tested that. And then we have this nice hologram of your ship. It's just the same as in the ship tree.
So your
It's really
current
nice.
ship that you are flying? is
Yes. It's just the nice Enigma.
Mhm.
We have this redeeming panel here. So you can, instead of opening up just a list, you can just drag it onto here. So it's clear where it's going.
It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Cool. And your character is grayed out there?
Yeah.
And when you mouse over it, it just comes to life.
It's
It's pretty cool.
amazing.
It's pretty cool.
And all the other slots are just going to be grayed out. And until you mouse on them, and then are we ready to enter the game?
Yes,
More?
let's enter the game.
Then it's just one click and you enter the game.
Let's select the character. Not everyone will have a CCP logo on their character because they're not
No.
in the CCP corporation.
And not many of you will have enigmas either.
Probably not. Hopefully not. As you could see earlier, I redeemed this nice implant, and I'm going to show you a change I made just recently. You can see that I'm skill training here. Now I'm going to plug in the implant. If I can find it. Ta-da!
Oh
Just
my God.
magically
Whoa.
Oh my god.
plugs in, and no.
And
No
you
problem.
didn't have to
Didn't have to
pause your
stop for
skill.
anything, No.
Wow.
And I
Oh.
told you this before, but I'm sure this is happening right now in homes across the world. But in Vegas, when we announced that, we and Fozzie did an hour-long presentation announcing all of Rubicon. And when we announced that this would be possible, we got a standing ovation. It was the only thing people clapped for. So
Oh wow.
it's pretty exciting.
Karkur is such a glory hunter. Fixes all
It
the
made
right
me
things.
really happy when I was watching the stream.
Do you need that local chat? Because it's probably going to get a little rowdy in a second.
No, actually I have set up here a channel for the people that are going to join my fleet, because now I'm going to show you the fleet changes I've been making. Let's see. I'm going to create the fleet with myself.
While you're creating the fleet, I would like to announce the first winner of a collector's edition from the Twitch chat channel. That person is Huntster. Huntster, you are the owner of a collector's edition. So congratulations. Everyone say congratulations to Huntster.
Congratulations, Hunster.
Yay.
Congrats. Okay, one of the changes we're introducing in Rubicon is you can save fleet setups and just then load them, and you don't have to create all the wings and all the squads again. So
Brilliant.
yes, and I've prepared one setup here. It's called Full Fleet. I just click here, and it just loads up all my wings and all my squads. So it's
So nice.
yeah.
So nice.
You can skip a lot of right clicking and setting names and all that. So now I'm just gonna invite some people to the fleet. First I'm gonna just put one wing commenter here and one squad commenter. And if they accept, okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm just gonna invite the whole channel to my fleet. But I just select them all.
Wow.
And let's hope they all accept. And it's just
That's so nice.
and they first join the squad that has the commenter. Whatever that is. Did he leave?
Yeah, I think maybe he didn't accept.
Oh.
Bad boy.
But at least yeah, it's just goes to the wing that has the wing commenter, and then to the squad commenter, and just fills up the fleet from top down.
Yeah.
So
This is going to make a lot of fleet commenters really
I
happy.
think so. I hope so.
And we've heard some of them being really happy on the forums.
And
other
of
places.
course, that's good for everybody because
Yeah.
Everybody sitting around taking time for this sort of stuff to get organized is not just annoying for the fleet commander, it's also costs everybody time. So
Yeah, and plus, since it's all happening like at once, it's just fewer just updates for the window,
Yeah.
so you don't like have the constant flashing.
Exactly.
We also just kind of reduce the need for all that
Brilliant.
updates.
Yeah, I think this is a good example of a change that makes the game nicer to play without dumbing anything down or making bad people good at Eve. It's like you're not going to win a war with anything like this. You still have to fight the fight, but like you have more time to go out in space and do stuff.
It just makes sense to allow that.
Yes, it's just good UI.
absolutely.
Then another thing with the fleet composition window. Previously, you would only have, like, if the people were docked, it would not tell you what ship they were flying. Now it will just list all the ship types for everyone, even if they're docked. You can see all these people here are docked, but you still can find out what they're flying.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna help the fleet commanders a lot.
Yeah.
So they can know for sure what people are flying in the undock. And another thing we did was we had in the fleet position column, which just lists what wing you're in and what squad you belong to. And what's good about this is that you can sort on it. So if you want to take like everyone in squad 6, maybe squad 6 and squad 7, I just want to move them to, say, just wing 1. I can just drag them all.
Nice.
And they're just all moved. So this is like, instead of moving one and having the window constantly updating, then you can just do it like that. And
you can just literally grab a bunch of people and just move them around like with one finger. That's pretty. That's power. That's power right there.
Yes, really is.
This is pretty awesome. So was this hard to make? Was this hard to make? Like I'll confess, I don't know how, but like. Oh, we're seeing some nice art in.
Let's do that. There. Yeah. No, it's this wasn't that difficult. So, but it's changes like this I really like making, just because something that makes sense and it's not like totally changing things, but it's still making people's life a lot better.
You've been going in game a little bit and getting the experience of what it's like to do these things.
Yes, I'm a bit of a noob, I have to say.
Like I mean, a lot of people. It's not easy to get into these big operations, and some sections of the game that are like unknown to a lot of our hardcore players who play the game a lot. So it's good to get into the game and try these little things here and there.
Yeah, I just remembered one other thing, that you can just multi-add people to your watch list instead of just one by one.
That's
so
super.
That is actually when I've been playing. I've been like, why can I not do that?
Yeah.
Because I never remember who I have in my watch list and who I don't.
Yeah.
So grabbing people.
That's great.
I just
super nice.
Yeah. Checking if there's anything more that I wanted to tell you about. I don't think so.
Okay. It's pretty. That's more than enough, I would say. It's it's really great, and all our fleet commanders are popping champagne corks right now, I think.
And everybody who uses implants and everybody who selects characters.
Yes,
all popping corks.
Yes, lots of champagne bottles being opened around the world, thanks to you. Yeah, it's really good stuff. So we're gonna, unless you want to say anything more about these things, then.
I don't have really much more to say.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for this and for coming on.
Oh, thank you.
And we have a video. CCP Red Dawn and CCP Fear are gonna talk about ghost sites and some of the things they've been working on. So check that out, and we'll be back.
Hi, I'm CCP Red Dawn on Team Kirumaku, and we're releasing ghost sites for Rubicon. So ghost sites are a new type of combat anomaly that players won't have seen before, because we've done some new trigger work behind the scenes, and they're seeded from high sec all the way down to and including wormhole space. They're semi-rare, so you still be able to warp to them. They're on your system overlay and your scanner, so there's no probes required. And once a capsuleer warps into a ghost site, then we initiate a hidden timer. The hidden timer basically is a small window for players to access the 4 containers within there, which you can access with the relic or data analyzers like current exploration sites. They only have one chance to access these new containers and ghost sites. If you fail, it will blow up and it will cause an AoE explosive damage area of effect. So that's quite dangerous. Obviously in high sec it's less damage, and in wormhole space you can get into severe lot of trouble. So once the timer completes inside a ghost site, then the pirate faction for that specific site will warp in and then destroy the rest of the containers. They do not want you to access any of the stuff inside. So capsuleers have to deal with failing the minigame, which in wormhole space will be the hardest difficulty, which is quite difficult. So you have to worry about the damage from the containers. You also have to worry about the NPCs that spawn in and attack you as well, and you obviously have to worry about other players as well. One thing I would like to also bring up is the fact that these new ghost sites, the containers, even though they have the hacking minigame associated with them, there will be no loot spoon mechanic. So players can automatically just complete the minigame, open cargo and receive bacon. And CCP Fear will tell you more about the rewards you can get inside these sites.
I'm CCP Fear, I'm a game designer on Team Kuromako. In the ghost sites that are now becoming in Rubicon, you will be getting some very interesting rewards. And some of them are implants, but you will not be getting the implants themselves, but actually the blueprint copies of them. The implants are designed to give you a boost in warp speed. They come in 2 sets, the low grade and high grade. Each set is consisting of 6 implants, and they obviously give you a boost in the attributes as well. In the ghost sites you will have to scan them down, and inside you have a chance of finding a blueprint copy of each of these implants. The blueprints are not equally distributed throughout New Eden, so you will have to find them in various locations. You will also need to find the materials required, some of which come through the ghost sites themselves. But you will also require some materials from planetary interaction, as well as regular minerals.
Welcome back to the set. That was a pretty cool video. Cool stuff coming in Rubicon. We have new guests on the set, CCP Sony Clover and CCP Paradox.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. So, you guys have been making some really interesting stuff, like that you're going to talk about.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we're from Team Super Friends. We've been working on several quite diverse features. Gonna start talking a little bit about player-owned custom offices or POCOs, while Paradox gets up and ready.
Yeah.
So a couple of years back we allowed players to own custom offices in low sec and null sec. Now we're extending that to every custom office in the game.
Yeah.
So coming Rubicon, all the custom offices in high sec that are currently controlled by Concord will become controlled by Interbus. Anybody can attack them. Concord is not going to respond. And once the Interbus station is down, anybody can place a country of their own and build their own station or custom office. The rules for them are pretty similar, you know, for setting standing restrictions and such like, and the tax rate. We are keeping the NPC tax rate on these stations, just to make the ones in low sec still competitive. But we are introducing a couple of changes there. We are releasing a new skill that will reduce the NPC tax rate and can cut it in half once you've trained it to level 5. And we are also adjusting a little bit the base tax value of all the commodities, reducing them by between 10 and 20%. So the tax rate is also reducing through that. So in all, the tax rate should remain about the same, but it of course depends on whatever tax rate the owner sets. Yeah, but this is just in line with you know, or sort of general aim of putting as much as we can in the hands of the players.
Exactly.
And this is something that we've wanted for a long time, ever since we modified the war system. We wanted to add this to sort of create more incentives for fights or wars in HiSec, because once a player corporation has built a custom office in HiSec, Concord will defend that custom office unless you are at war with the owners of the custom office. So
and some of these planets are incredibly lucrative to actually get a hold of. So as a corporation, if you can manage to get some of these planets in HiSec, you'll be earning quite a lot of money.
Which is super good news, because that means people will fight over it. And
yes,
we all love fights.
Yeah, there are of course a lot of planets in HiSec, so we're not foreseeing, you know, nullsec alliances taking control of it all or something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if at least the custom offices around like Jita and other trade hubs like that are probably gonna be pretty hectic.
That's good, that's good. More fights, people are gonna have plenty to fight about through winter.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the hope.
yeah. We're just trying to get people to fight each other. That's just the thing. So
Exactly.
yeah, I have one announcement for people watching the stream and on the stream chat. If you want to win one of the collector's editions, you have to follow the CCP Twitch channel to be eligible to win the prize. And Huntster, the winner of the first one, you have to respond to a message that's in your Twitch inbox to finalize the deal. And that goes for anyone else who's going to win one tonight. So, HiSec Pocos, we have...
Yeah. Next up is mobile siphon units.
Yes.
And we're gonna go in game and show them.
We'll dive in and just show those a little bit. So I've set up a few earlier that I've had in space for a bit.
It's like a cooking show. You cook one first.
Yeah,
So you can't
exactly.
wait.
Exactly what I did.
Yeah.
In fact, I even named my bookmark. Here's one I made earlier. So what I'm going to do is I just want to go and check it out, see if it's, you know, been stealing any stuff, see if I can get this from players. I'm going to warp straight through a station.
Yes. We can't spend time like going around the station, so we'll just go through it. It's a beautiful ship.
Yes, I think those on the stream might notice it's a laser Proteus, which obviously is the best. Okay.
All right.
So this pod here has it's just out there alone, no defense at all.
Yeah.
No owner in sight.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to
put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, you know what, I want a piece of this pie.
Yeah.
So just what Team 5 have done, it's as simple as dragging and dropping in space.
Just drag and drop.
These activate incredibly quickly, allowing you to get out of there and then come back in, you know, an hour to see if they've generated.
Hoping nobody has noticed that it's there and nobody will be waiting for you to come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, it's worth noting that anybody can take this stuff.
Yes.
What's inside these, whatever gets stolen and put into these mobile siphon units.
So no complex password locking mechanisms to bypass.
Not like that. And also we're in low sec, so it's, you know, anybody can take these. There's no suspect flag given. Anybody can start shooting at them as well.
Yeah. So it's really open-ended gameplay, and you never know what's going to happen, really.
Yes. Okay. So we've arrived at a slightly defensive pause. I actually warped on the grid to one of these units. I'm just going to open up. I've got some already. Just going to move this. It's maybe too much for me to actually take, which is interesting. Maybe I'll take 100 units.
Let's see.
And just get right out of there.
Yes.
I'm just going to warp back out.
When I heard about this feature first, I just kind of like started laughing a little bit because it's wonderful.
It's our players have been very vocal on the forums about exactly what is going to happen, but I think we'll see quite different sides of the spectrum emerge. It depends on the regions of space that people have, how well defended they are. I think a lot of owners are going to wake up and think, I've just got to get out there and protect myself from this.
There's also going to be opportunities for third-party pirates to just try to catch people stealing from it. Even if someone isn't protecting their stuff, some other people may see an interest in doing it for you just to get some kills. It's like
I could have taken a small little gang out in maybe interceptors, just to get out there and drop a couple of these units, get out, or maybe I want to start a fight. Just make sure that they know what I'm doing, dropping these siphon units in system.
So it's like what it reminds me of a little bit is like those water reservoirs on the savannas of Africa. There's a lot of good PvP around. A lot of different reasons for coming to them. They draw a lot of different animals and lots of good
very
fights.
Unsuspecting.
Anything goes. Lots of good fights.
Right. So I mean, this is how simple it is to interact with them. Just drag and drop to deploy, and then go back to any of these. They can be scanned down through the system, so you can scan these down just by jumping into a system, check it out, find some with the combat scanner probes, decide what, I want to steal this. It's next to 4 harvesting arrays. It sounds pretty lucrative, and you can get in and get maybe some cobalt, some technetium.
It's pretty good. Ways for people who don't own big posses to get some of that action.
Yeah, that's exactly sort of the thinking here, and something that we are looking into in other areas is gameplay that is more granular level than just people shooting each other in the face. I mean, this is basically opening up the chance for basically anybody to get their hands into the moon mineral pie without having to set up a pause. Of course, at a lower level, so to speak, but it's similar to like when we added invention for Tech 2. I mean, it was sort of a very isolated elite system that we then opened up to basically anybody that was interested in it, and it's the same thing here. And another thing here that we're also sort of exploring with this and other things is sort of more of an indirect interaction of ways of how players can affect each other without necessarily having to be even online at the same time.
Or being in formal war or anything like that.
And suddenly finding out that there's lots of other people out there in EVE that you had no idea that they could do something like this to you.
We just sort of want to give this the feel in general in EVE, and that's sort of a direction we're aiming for, that everything you do leaves a footprint, and everything you do can be affected by other people, just to sort of bring it more to life.
I think that's absolutely amazing.
So these small siphon units are quite basic. They won't go after polymer reactions, for instance. They just go after some simple moon materials and simple process.
They're very much focused on the moon goo, because that sort of was the initial direction we wanted to take them in. But we are looking into variants in the future, for instance, for polymers and even complex reactions and such. It's worth noting that this small one does not steal alchemy output, but that of course could happen in the future.
Yeah, really exciting stuff. So that's gonna cause a lot of emotion and interesting moments and memories come November 19th and through the winter.
Yeah, I mean we're just trying to throw extra catalysts in there. But then it's in the hands of the players of when and where and what and how it happens, But
really love that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe people who have had a look at the devlog that went out today by CCP Fuzzy, he detailed a bit about working with the CSM.
Yes.
And in particular, 2 features that we managed to do for this release, which may not have happened otherwise. We're just going to show one of these now.
It's from the reasonable things object.
Yes,
the
exactly.
list, yeah.
The reasonable things list, which got just over 4,000 votes, I think, in which were prioritized by a voting system.
And this is an absolutely amazing change, I have to say.
So
really proud of
this is finally putting in Tech 3 subsystem fitting in space. So I'm in my Tech 3 ship here right now. I do have one subsystem that it's just as simple as drag and drop. Your ship updates in space, and here. You may have saw the message there that any modules that need to be unfitted will be automatically moved into your cargo hold. For the most part, we will try and keep these modules online, but some subsystem changes have to revert to 0 CPU and 0 power. So all of your modules may go offline with a couple of the subsystem changes, but because you're right next to a fitting service, you can just online these without any capacitor penalty. So this is one change which I think especially people in wormholes will really appreciate. You can't assemble the ships in space, but you can definitely change them now. I do have a fleet hangar here full of subsystems.
Really? So you can just go through all these and
you can select quite a few, drag and drop, when we will just do them all together.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that in particular the wormholers will be absolutely ecstatic about this.
Hopefully this will make their lives much easier when using Tech 3 ships.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting that these fitting changes will work with the new mobile depot that Fossi will talk about later.
Yes, exactly. And there were some changes made. There was in that blog, they were talking about some changes to the ship maintenance array, how that works, and it's like all brilliant. It's really just really good stuff. So anyone who hasn't read that dev blog should go and check it out. It's
exactly. It's a quite a long dev blog, but it's a really good read.
It's a really good one.
It also showcases or highlights the good thing that can happen in sort of the communication between the community and CCP. And hopefully it will continue in the future.
Yeah, really good stuff. So I was hearing that another winner of a collector's edition had been picked. Can I get the name of the winner again? Name of the winner. It's on the screen. Oh, there it is. Okay, no wonder I didn't understand that through my earpiece. It's on the screen. We have the winner of the next collector's edition. Congratulations! And if you are one of the few who will not win one tonight, you can go to the Eve store and get yours. And it has a ton of good stuff. You can also get some of this stuff. I got one of the first black Guristas hoodies ever, so I'm pretty happy about that. T-shirt also, new T-shirt, good stuff. So go check that out. Yeah. So, guys, these features are amazing.
Yeah.
And on behalf of the community, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of all our hearts.
Okay.
It's, wonderful stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see this on TQ next week.
Exactly.
Awesome.
The high-tech Pocos, I think.
Yeah.
Really
So next up, we're gonna hear more from Team Trilanta, who are making awesome things happen for Rubicon, and then we'll be back with more guests. See you then.
I'm CCP Húskarl. I'm the art director of Eve, and I work mostly with Trilanta, but also with other teams. Lately we've been working on very exciting features for Rubicon. Yeah, we all, for the SOE ships, we all came together, game design and the story team and art, and we brainstormed about the look of the ships and their function. We chose the color white for them because it fits the exploration theme a lot, and it's also something you can link easily to humanitarian ships and the religious theme of SOE, and also we wanted to do a very functional looking ships, classic sci-fi. So there's also a bit inspiration in the old 70s sci-fi movies. the ships have a lot of interesting design features. We make the drone base look like a retrofitted medical base, and the ships look like they're equipped with a lot of rescue pods and even a shuttle for exploration. Lately, when we've been redesigning ships, we've been designing and making animations for them because we want them to look more alive and show some function. And since we were redoing the Marauders, new models, we wanted to do the animations as well. And the Marauders have a siege mode, so it fitted perfectly to include them this time. It's been a long time since we did the corpses, and I felt there was the time to redo them and actually make them in higher fidelity. And since we have such an awesome character team here now, and so we started that project. And of course, we had to do them now in different races that fit the character you are. Now you can actually zoom in to your corpse and see all the gory details better. The rib cages and the skulls. And something to remember that moment better when you die in your pod.
Welcome back. We have some familiar faces with us again.
It's almost as if we were just here.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Yeah, wow.
I'm
They didn't
CCP
go far.
Fuzzy and that's CCP Ride.
Yeah.
Oh no, we just
We actually
switched
tricked some
seats.
people with that.
Yeah, that was
at,
fun.
Vegas, and people have started to believe that.
Although I must just, I don't know what it is, but people think I'm all kinds of weird people. Like that started because someone was sure I was you. Earlier in the night, someone was sure I was the Mitani. It's like, I don't know why this happens.
Yeah, you're like...
you look like everyone.
I look like, I
everybody.
guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Mostly like you.
Exactly. You can't tell us apart. I get confused every time I go to talk to you. I think you're a mirror.
Oh, I'm such a glorious giant Canadian man.
So how about those new corpses? They were pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually am pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
I died today and got potted. And I thought, geez, this corpse is really just disturbing to look at. I wish they would change it.
And make it more disturbing to look at.
Yes, that's what
We
I
have
was
some
thinking.
pretty stuff coming up later
You know,
because
cancel it.
everybody's waiting for the Rubicon trailer, right?
Yeah, which features some corpses in it.
Yeah, there are some
Little
corpses
spoiler.
in it. Little spoiler, little spoiler. Not a big one. There's a lot of stuff in it. So at the end of this talk, we're gonna premiere the Rubicon trailer. You're gonna be the first people on this planet, possibly in this universe, to ever see it.
How did he get
outside
the
of
spoiler?
CCP, of course.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Also,
Fozzie saw it.
Second spoiler, the last words of the trailer, the final statement. Try deployables.com.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, it's a beautiful trailer. I was so happy when I first saw it. I was just like, yes.
Yeah, it's awesome on a lot of levels.
I can't wait to get the goosebumps again later.
But now that we've got everyone really worked up to see it, let's talk about something else.
Yes. What more do we have coming in Rubicon next Tuesday?
Quite a bit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of what my team, Team 50, has been working on. We've been doing a number of new additions to the game, some of which we've already mentioned, including some new structures. We're changing the way warping works, and we also did some ship balancing. So there's some really exciting stuff that we're going to be able to show off. So I'm going to switch over here to this screen, where I'm flying one of the newly rebalanced ships, a Raptor. There we go. See it very beautiful there. This is one of the ships that has received a very big improvement. We might have a chance to talk a little bit more about that later, but for now all you need to know is that I'm flying a Raptor that happens to have a gigantic cargo hold and can hold all the deployables, and that I have the new Ascendancy implant set. So you heard CCP Fear talk a little bit about those before in the video, and these are implants that increase your warp speed, and they're the first ever player manufactured implants. These are implants that players build themselves. The blueprints come from the new Ghost sites, these new rare exploration hacking sites, and we are going to be showing you exactly what that means for warp speed. So what we've done for these warp speed changes, in the past, all warp speed acceleration and deceleration has been fixed for ships. So when you start getting up to your max speed, and then when you're decelerating to stop, the speed at which you did that was the same for every ship, no matter what the top warp speed was, which meant that for most warp, you'd spend all your time in that acceleration and deceleration, and it didn't make a big difference how fast your ship's warp speed was. So even though some ships had it very, very low and some had it very, very high, it actually didn't practically make any difference. So no one cared. We have had rigs that affected and implants that affected for years, and no one ever used them. So now what we've done is make that acceleration rate depend on the warp speed of the ship. So a faster warp speed ship is going to accelerate and decelerate faster. And you're going to see the difference pretty strongly. Interceptors, like before, still have the fastest warp speed available by any normal ship in the game. And I'm sitting in X-7. Some of you guys may know the pain of this system. I'm at the KLY gate, and I'm going to warp down to B80 and show you exactly how this travel works. So this is a very, very fast warping ship. I don't have the warp rigs, but I do have the ascendancy implants.
And how many AU is this?
This is warping 230 AU.
That is pretty far.
And so the actual max warp speed of the ship is a bit lower than it was before. I'm going 12.29. It was 13.5 before max. But because you accelerate and decelerate so much faster, this warp is vastly, vastly shorter than it used to be. Like this would be a gigantically long warp before, and now we're already.
So if you're chasing a battleship and an interceptor, you can just go. You can just warp to the place he's going, go have a sandwich, come back and kill him.
Yeah,
and sorry, but is there like a planet or something close to the gate? I mean, to me, that's almost the craziest change. Is that when you condense?
Yeah, well,
when
this one's far away from everything.
Okay,
but I'll show you that in a bit. I'm going to go back to it.
Okay,
and then I can warp around a bit there. But yes, for shorter warps, it just
shorter warps, it's all acceleration, which used to be so long.
Yeah,
and now it's only. It depends on your ship, but it's often much faster. So.
Yeah, we'll be demonstrating that in a little bit. One of the things that I'm going to show you at this gate, though, is some of our new deployable structures.
Oh, I tried to mess up your script. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem at all. We've got 3 of these here. Those 4 deployable structures, our first 4 deployable structures we're releasing here in Rubicon. I'm going to show off 3 of them. You already saw one of them, which was the siphon unit that the Super Friends guys just showed off. And there's a couple things that these all have in common. One is that they all are personally owned. They don't belong to your corp. You don't need to be in a corp. You don't need roles to use them. They also are all able to be attacked everywhere. If you even in high sec, you can shoot them without getting anything more than a suspect timer. Concord will not get involved. And they're all much, much easier to use than before. In the past, you would have had to right-click on a structure, and then you'd launch for self, and then you'd right-click it again, and you'd anchor, and you'd right-click again, and you'd online it. Now you just pick it up, and you can still do the right-click if you want, but pick it up, drag, and I can't put it right beside a Stargate. So I'm actually going to... what am I going to do here? I'm going to teleport myself over here. You didn't see that. And start moving a bit this way. So now I'm far enough away from the gate that I can start deploying these. This is a mobile cyno inhibitor. There we are. And you'll see it show off a very cool effect coming out of it. This is you saw the Tri-Lambda guys talk a bit about the art. It also has a very clear dial to show you its deployment time. You drop it in space. This one takes 2 minutes. They've all got a different amount of time it takes to deploy. But you don't have to right-click or get them to do anything. They'll all automatically start working. And once this thing works, and once this thing is finished the 2 minutes, it will block any normal cynos from being started within a 100-kilometer radius from it. So it's a great way to defend yourself from hot drops, to make sure that if someone does hot drop you, they do it where you want them, and maybe you can drop a trap for them there. There's a lot of great things you can do to manipulate other fleets from this structure.
Really interesting dimension to fleet warfare.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people in low sec and 0-0 are going to be very excited to take advantage of this. And we've also got, I'm going to show you with these Rex, the new mobile tractor unit. And I'm already gotten too close to the Stargate, so I can move a bit further away. So one of the things
Stay
is
away
that
from the Stargate.
Yes,
fast, man.
Other than I'm very fast. Other than distance to each other, and of the same type, distance to star bases and distance to gates and stations, you can deploy these anywhere. They don't have to be at moons. They can be at safe spots. They can be at planets. And they can be near a gate as long as you're far enough away. In this case, it has to be 50 clicks away. So here it goes. And this is the mobile tractor unit. And this one activates very, very quickly, only 10 seconds. And it's basically just a giant can with a tractor beam attached to it. And once this thing finishes activating, I've already blown up some Grista's obliterators over here in the Rex. And you see there it goes. Already starting to pull in some Rex. And it's not only going to tractor beam these Rex all the way in, but it's also going to loot them automatically and take all the loot, put it into its own hold. And then once it's there, you'll be able to access that loot yourself, scoop the thing and pick it up and then move on.
Really
so you can
nice.
drop these in a mission, they'll do the looting and tractoring for you, then you can come back later and do all the salvaging and pick up all the loot yourself.
Super nice, super nice. We are featuring this mechanic and some others in the part 2 of the in development video that we are premiering on Monday, I believe. We do have maybe, I think, a short clip from it. It is work in progress, but we'll show it to you right now. So as I said, work in progress. There's still some.
Tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, pretty
that's
much everything.
pretty much the whole plot.
But like, since we're very careful of the spoilers, we have scrambled the speech. So maybe you didn't catch all of that, but on Monday you'll see the part 2 of the in development for Rubicon. Yeah.
And now I'm going to show you the third mobile structure. So you've already seen actually 3 of them, including the Super Friends one. So this will be the 4th one. And it's the mobile depot. This is one of the ones we're very excited about. It's the most easy to use and entry level of all of the new mobile structures.
Awesome.
And this, look at this gorgeous thing, is your own little tent, home away from home, sitting in deep space. It is essentially a small container to hold your belongings. You can put loot inside of it, and also to allow you to refit. So you can actually activate modules, turn them on and off. You can refit your Tech 3 subsystems just like at any other space fitting facility. And it takes about a minute to activate. It takes exactly a minute to activate. It can be dropped anywhere. It's very cheap, doesn't require any skills. And I think this is something that people are going to be able to come up with a lot of really cool uses for. It's very, very powerful for creative users, so we're very excited to see what people come up with to use it. We're sure they're going to come up with some really great things.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all over space, all types of space.
Yeah.
One of the things that's special about this one compared to the others, you can, like all of them, as you see the salvage or the tractoring going by.
Nice.
Like all of them,
Beautiful.
you can shoot them anywhere, including in high sec. But these ones this is the only one that has a special mode for reinforcement. So once it's finished activating, if I'd shot it before it finished activating, it actually would have just died once it had gone through its HP, which isn't very much. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot at this guy. And there you go. It goes into reinforced. And from there, you see the red circle there. That's going to tell you that it is 48 hours, 2 days away from coming out of reinforced. After that point, you'll be able to shoot it and destroy it itself. However, the owner of it, during that time, can pick it up and put it somewhere else. They can put it in the same place, but if you're there, then you can just shoot it at that point and kill it.
Okay.
So, but they can take it and put it off in a safe spot somewhere else. So this is a mechanic that allows a active gamer who's there playing the game at least every 2 days, showing up to defend their stuff. They can pick it up and take it somewhere else. But for somebody that just leaves them and doesn't come back, you can clear up your space.
Yeah, people will clean up after them for leaving their stuff lying around.
Yeah, and they also do expire after a month if you just leave them there for a certain amount of time. So we won't get too much space junk.
Yeah. I mean, it would be kind of hard to convince people to store their stuff in these things out in space if anyone could shoot them without any consequences and no time to react. So.
And one of the important things to also know about it is while it's in reinforced, you can't use the fitting service. So if someone drops it in combat, if you can shoot it within the 1 minute, it's only got 5,000 shield, 5,000 armor, and 7,500 hull with no resistances, then you can just destroy it. But if not, you can just quickly reinforce it after that, and it'll stop being usable until they pick it up. And even when they drop it again, it's actually still going to be at 0% shield, so then you can just blap it when that happens. So it's one of those things that if someone uses it and you're active shooting it, then you can knock it out of commission very quickly. And here I've got the mobile tractor unit open, seeing the loot that I've picked up. I'm going to quickly show you what happens when you scoop one of these things. So this, I'll go ahead and scoop the, actually I can do it this way. With the, there we go. Scoop the cargo hold there in the radial menu. I'm going to do it as well with the mobile tractor unit. So when you scoop any of these structures that have loot in them, it gives you the structure and then drops a can, which then you can then pick up whatever it is you want to grab from it.
Okay. Nice, nice.
And a couple of the questions I noticed that were constant in Vegas when we were talking about these, and people could have seen on the screen, but how big are each of these in terms of space, and how much space do they take up to actually carry around with you?
Yep, yeah, so the mobile depot is very small, only takes up 50 M3 for the base version. There's also 2 special meta versions of it that only drops in the ghost sites, and one of them is a bit larger at 100. But they both are much harder to probe, which is the big advantage of them.
Nice.
The tractor unit itself is at 100 M3, so it's going to be a little bit bigger, but can still fit into most ships. The Sino inhibitor, I believe, is also 100. I'm drawing a bit of a blank there exactly what it is, but it's around that size. So they're all fairly easy to drop, especially if you're in a cruiser or a bigger ship.
And then they both those two have quite a bit of space inside them once they're deployed, yeah?
Yes. So the mobile depot itself has has 3,000 M3 for the normal version, 4,000 for the meta. The tractor unit, you can't place cargo directly into it. You have to it has to pick up wrecks and cans, but it has the size of a jet can, so it's absolutely gigantic.
Okay. Awesome.
Awesome.
So I'm just finishing
Really
up a warp here to the gate, and then we'll be able to show off a couple of the ship balance things, including the new Marauder. Oop, and I hit the jump button instead, but I'll go back. So I'll talk just quickly about the ship balance that 5.0 has done. I automatically hit jump there. And one of them, of course, being the interceptors that you're seeing here. Yeah. We've made some pretty big changes to the interceptors. The biggest advantage, of course, that they get now is the ability to warp much faster with the new warp changes. But then they also get the ability to warp right through bubbles. They get interdiction nullification, just like a Tech 3 with the nullifier subsystem, which is going to make them the best ship at what they do best, what they're designed to do best, which is getting from point A to point B. They're here to intercept ships. They still die pretty easily. They still don't do a ton of damage. But their role is to get from point A to point B, get on top of the enemy and hold them down.
Yes,
and
yes.
they're going to do a great job.
Great for scouting and just getting around.
You can screen for your fleet. You can give information. You can tackle enemies. It's going to be a very, very useful ship.
People are just going to have to put a little bit more work into catching them and making them go away.
Yes, smart bombers. I think it will be a great way to do it.
They're not immune to smart bombs.
Yes,
so.
I think Rooks and Kings are going to kill
Hint,
a whole lot of these things.
Yes.
And then let the rest of the fleet get caught in a bubble and then kill all the interceptors.
Yeah.
Or just kill the whole fleet. But we've also made big changes to the interdictor class. They now have a different mechanic for the way the bubbles drop. The bubbles will now only allow one launcher per ship, but you'll be able to hold 3 warp bubbles inside of the actual clip, the magazine, if people corrected me, on the launcher, and fire these off and then have a longer reload time. So there's a lot more tactical choices to make when you drop the bubbles. And they also are going to get much stronger combat capabilities to bring them up to the same kind of level of the Saber and be a lot harder to kill. So I think that's going to be something people are very excited to use.
Really nice.
So I'll show you here, and Rise may want to talk about it a little bit. This is one of the, I'm going to board it. This is one of the newly rebalanced Marauders with the new graphics as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So yeah, like I said before, Marauders are getting a pretty big set of changes. It's all centered around the idea of kind of having 2 modes. So instead of just a ship kind of always being the same, it now has, you can see there on the screen, a Bastion module, which only fits to Marauders. And it's kind of tempting to compare it to a Siege module, but it's actually a lot different. Not only does it transform the ship visually, but it's also doing 3 major things, the biggest of which probably is making them immune to E-War. So no type of electronic warfare, whether that's warp disruptors, which I suppose won't matter since it can't move, or like ECM dampening, none of that will affect them. They'll also get about double the active tank, so they get like 100% bonus to shield boost and armor repair amount while they're in Bastion, and their range is increased by quite a bit as well, getting fall off and optimal bonuses, missile velocity bonuses, that sort of thing. So they're kind of just this awesome tanky thing that spews out damage all over the place when they're in Bastion mode. The price they pay for that is not being able to move, so not being able to warp, and also just literally being stationary.
So they have to think carefully before entering Bastion mode.
Absolutely. But the Bastion module has very short active time. It's only 1 minute per cycle.
Yeah.
So that means you do have to be careful, but also it's never too long until you come out of cycle. And then when you do, you turn back into a ship that looks more like the old Marauders. They don't have the web bonuses. A couple other things are tweaked, but for the most part, they're relatively similar, except for one major thing, which is that now all Marauders have a much shortened cooldown on micro jump drives. So you have the normal 9-second spool up or whatever it is to use an MJD, but then it's only a minute before you can use it again. So that means you can come onto a grid, go into Bastion, do some fighting, come out of it. 1 minute later, use an MJD to switch where you're out on the grid, go to Bastion again. When your Bastion's done, you can MJD again. So
so the good time of your Bastion mode is going to be spent by your enemies trying to approach you just before you
trying to get scrams close enough that you don't want to leave Bastion, and I think and
all the time you're going to be pumping out damage. And
and I don't know, we're just really excited to see what people do. They're still sort of aimed at PvE, so they'll make really good kind of mission running and like site solo PvE kind of they'll be very good at. But of course, there's a lot of ways this can be applied. I'm sure we'll see some interesting stuff in PvP coming out of it, as well as even things, people talking about running incursions with groups of these. So we're just excited to see what happens with them. It's a very new kind of tool, and that's always fun. So it should be good.
Super exciting. Lots of things we're seeing for Rubicon that are just really shaking things up.
Yes.
Making people rethink how they see these things. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
I'm also going to show you really quick, now that we're at a gate where this stuff a bit closer, a bit of a shorter warp with the new warp system. So this is a 6,000 kilometer warp. And as we see, I'll watch leaving from right off grid. And then we're there.
Whoa.
Which is super fast.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that means, bouncing around in small areas or making, trips with shorter warps is going to be way, way, way faster than it used to be.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Traveling has never been easier.
Yeah, the flip side of that is...
Unless you're in a big ship.
Yeah, well, big ships are going to get a bit slower. Not by a ton. Not by nearly as much as we've sped up the small ships. But yeah, big ships are going to be getting slower in a way to basically separate out. Make sure there's enough divisions that it's a meaningful choice.
Yeah. And it will be super meaningful. I mean, it's funny to simultaneously be excited about the applications in small ships, and I'm also thinking, I used to be able to get away from groups in a Talos because their frigs actually couldn't catch up to me because all the acceleration time meant we basically traveled at the same speed except for aligning, but now they're going to catch me, so that's, it'll change things quite a lot, which is really good.
Yeah, one of the other big changes that we're very happy about for Rubicon that 5.0 had been working on, like Super Friends guys talked about with the Tech 3 subsystem swapping, this is something that I also mentioned in that same dev blog that was championed by the community, that was one of the things that was highlighted by the reasonable things list that the CSM put together, which is the ability to now destroy ship maintenance arrays and extra large ship maintenance arrays at POSs and have those drop a wreck. And that wreck will then have ships inside of it. So you'll be able to get loot from that. In the past, the ships would just spew out into space, which could cause a lot of lag. So we took that away, and now we've replaced it with a much better mechanic where they have a wreck that actually, unlike every other wreck, has SMA functionality. You can right-click on the ship and eject into space. And that allows you to get the ships out.
Yeah, so you can get the ships out, eject them one at a time, or you can just go and drag them to your
to an Orca or something. Yeah. If we'd used a normal wreck, then you'd only be able to drag them into an Orca or a carrier. But we wanted to make sure that you could access them even without those ships. So we added the new functionality where these particular wrecks can eject ships out into space that you can just board. Super
nice solution. And it took a few runs at this problem to figure out something that worked and felt nice.
But we're very happy with the solution we have right now.
It both works technically, makes the system safer and faster and better, and also just really good usability for people who like to blow these things up and take ships from other people.
Yes.
Who doesn't like that?
So
awesome stuff.
I got one more balance thing I think I want to touch on as well. One thing my team is doing is adding a new missile launcher type, an entirely new group called Rapid Heavy Launchers. They mimic Rapid Light Launchers in that they're a large battleship system, but they use medium ammunition. So they're shooting heavy missiles, even though they're a large system. And we've been through a few iterations of these. I'm mentioning them because I want to know, I want to get you guys' feedback after they go live. We're pretty close now. And basically, the way they're going to work is they're going to have a whole bunch of damage for a relatively short time, and then have a relatively long reload time. So right now we're looking for Tech 2 launchers in kind of a normal ship fit. On a Raven, for instance, you'll have about 40 or 50 seconds firing. During that time, you'll do an enormous amount of damage, and then you'll spend 40 seconds in reload. And I'm not going to go into a super detailed rundown of why we're setting them up that way, but we're pretty excited about it. Actually, I was playing around yesterday on an internal server in a Raven that did 1250 DPS with heavy missiles, and wow. I think that it's going to be really powerful and really fun. So that also is applying to the rapid lights as well. We're rebalancing them in the same way. So both missile systems will work like that, and I think it's going to be really fun, and excited to hear how it goes once you guys get your hands on those.
I just see the image of myself in a Raven with one of these, and surrounded by cruisers and blowing everybody up. It's just wonderful.
And then MJDing away, and then waiting a little bit, and then MJDing back in, and doing another 1300 DPS for 40 seconds. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it could be very powerful.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. Another one to think about. You gotta really think about before you empty that launcher and that
yeah,
reload
exactly.
for a long
yeah,
time.
a lot of new decisions to make related to that.
Yeah,
So.
that's really good. It's really good. So lots of stuff coming out. Lots of stuff coming out, and
Yes.
Rubicon is gonna change how things work, but also set the stage for the players getting more and more and more control, making their own implants, controlling high-sec POCOs, getting their own deployables in space. Lots of new things happening.
Yeah, a lot of things that are going to be great both in this expansion and also in the future. We've already made a public thread where we're asking people to suggest new deployables that they want us to add.
Yes.
We've already actually got new deployables, multiple new deployables planned and like in our release plan for our 1.1 patch to Rubicon.
People won't even have to wait long for the next patch.
And there'll be
deployables.
more in the next patch and more in the next patch. Yeah.
It's just it's a really cool mechanic and one that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and some of the ideas are so funny. I mean, there's so much you can do with this sort of foundation of how things can work. I mean,
my favorite so far is a deployable that works just like the auto looter, the auto tractoring device, except instead of tractoring in Rex, it shoots them. Just to deny people. You drop into 0-0 fight and it just pops.
Oh, it's evil. So what's the craziest idea have you heard? Have you heard any really far out ones?
There's been a lot of really far out ones, and a lot of them are really cool, but some of them maybe like really hard to do. And a lot of them have
I don't
their
know
own
which
problems.
ones you're doing in 0.1, so I don't want to mention any.
There's like we've had the idea come up of doing like mobile drug labs, and then getting to name one of the name one of the meta variations of the Winnebago. Just little things like that. I think there's going to be a lot of very cool stuff that will be coming out in the future.
Yeah.
Vending machines, people suggested.
Vending machines. That's a good opportunity for business people, you know. Like, hey,
and then someone can try to tip it over and have it land.
Selling ammo in low sec, you know. Hey, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons you can do. A lot of really cool ideas around like decoy type stuff. I know kind of a ridiculous version I saw someone posted about was having something that looks like a ship or looks like something you'd want, and then when you go try to interact with it, it explodes.
Trap.
Traps. I mean, that's a little griefy and probably
pretty good. Yeah,
he would probably like it, but I don't know about that.
It's just a ship version of the ghost sites.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, once you have the capability to make this and the system to support it, you can, these ideas start to become feasible. And that's exciting.
The programmers on both teams, 5.0 and Super Friends, have worked super hard on making an extremely robust system that's underlying this whole thing. It's completely new code. It doesn't share any code with the Starbase system. That was one of our first requirements, is that we're going to make some stuff that has nothing in common whatsoever with Starbase as a code-wise. And that allows a lot of great options.
That unties your hands in many ways to things. That's pretty good. That's some old code we have there, and it's nice to nice to be able to just do these things around all that.
Yeah,
it's really cool, really cool. So, do we? Oh, whoa! We have a new user on screen. That's pretty amazing. So, Kata055 has won a collector's edition. Congratulations, Kata!
Congratulations!
Yay! And that is our final winner of tonight. And congratulations! And if you haven't won one yet, they're in the Eve store. And,
well, the rest of them are all winners, but these ones are the only ones that win collector's edition. The rest of them are just winners in general.
They're just winners winners in life. Winners in life. And so the trailer is ready, I'm being told. So, but I mean, is anyone really waiting for the trailer?
I don't know.
We should talk more about the forums.
Yeah, we could just talk about like the font type on the forums.
Yeah. Let's talk about politics.
Yes. Or we should maybe just show the trailer.
Okay, let's.
I'm gonna make the decision here. We're gonna watch the trailer, and then we'll say our goodbyes and start waiting excitedly for Rubicon. So the Rubicon trailer, first people in the world to see it. Let's go.
Inbound. What's your status?
Establishing connection in 3, 2, and primary defenses are breached.
Attempting brute force on secondary. Keep them off me.
Capsuleers of New Eden. We are aware your scanners are detecting cosmic anomalies of an unknown nature.
That should keep them busy.
These anomalies originate from covert research facilities known as ghost sites. They are run by hostile factions and pose a significant threat to the entirety of New Eden.
Battleships on grid. Time's up. We gotta go.
Negative. Just hold them off. I'm almost through.
The Empires demand full compliance with the following directive. Capsuleer access to these illicit facilities is strictly forbidden.
Taking heavy fire.
Unauthorized interactions will be considered a violation.
Almost there.
Shields are down. There's so much damage.
And should you fail to comply,
I'm in. I've never seen anything like this. Wait. No. Abort! Abort!
there will be consequences.
Eve Rubicon, there's no turning back. Play now at trial.eveonline.com.
Woohoo! That was awesome, huh? If you want to watch it again, it's on YouTube, and we're also going to show it again here, so we can all watch it together, because it's pretty great.
I've watched it like 50 times.
Yeah, I
in the
watched
last
it like
couple days.
It's just,
Yeah,
it's
have it on
amazing.
loop.
Those sentry drones shooting out the corpse. It's the guy, the Concord guy who's really worried. I like that guy. He's just my
I feel
favorite.
for him.
Yeah, I understand him. I understand his pain. So. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun talking about Rubicon. I can't wait to have Rubicon on Tranquility. I'm sure the people at home are also really excited to get Rubicon on Tuesday, November the 19th. It's been really great. Great having you on.
Yeah.
It's been a really good show, and I think we all deserve a pat on the back, right?
I think we definitely do.
Yeah,
I think we definitely do.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, man. So
I didn't get one, but it's fine.
Thanks, guys. So. Yes, so let's watch the trailer again, but November 19th, Rubicon. It's been great having you on Twitch here with us. The winners of the collector's editions, you need to respond to your Twitch messages so we can give them to you. And the rest of you, enjoy the trailer, and I'll see you in Rubicon on November 19th.
Inbound. What's your status?
Establishing connection in 3, 2, and primary defenses are breached. Attempting brute force on secondary. Keep them off me!
Capsuleers of New Eden, we are aware your scanners are detecting cosmic anomalies of an unknown nature.
Deploying sentry drones. That should keep them busy.
These anomalies originate from covert research facilities known as ghost sites. They are run by hostile factions and pose a significant threat to the entirety of New Eden.
Battleships on grid. Time's up. We gotta go.
Negative. Just hold them off. I'm almost through.
The Empires demand full compliance with the following directive. Capsuleer access to these illicit facilities is strictly forbidden.
Taking heavy fire.
Unauthorized interactions will be considered a violation.
Almost there.
Shields are down. There's so much damage.
And should you fail to comply,
I'm in. I've never seen anything like this. Wait. No. Abort! Abort!
there will be consequences.
Eve Rubicon, there's no turning back. Play now at trial.eveonline.com.